No one escapes pain, fear, and suffering. Yet from pain can come wisdom. From fear can come courage. From suffering can come strength if we have the virtue of resilience. And this similar resilience has been shown by the AIR-1 rank holder in SSC Tech 59 entry, Mr. Shivansh Vats, who got recently recommended from SSB Kapurthala. So let's welcome in today's SSB Crack Talks episode, Mr. Shivansh Vats, who, in spite of his previous failures in SSB, never gave up and achieved his goal. Hi, Shivansh, how are you?
Hello, Anuradha. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine as well. First of all, I want to wish you a hearty congratulations on behalf of SSB Crack Talks for being the AIR-1 holder of the SSC Tech 59 entry. And thank you for being with us. I hope that the next couple of minutes will be quite interesting for those of you who's watching this particular video, this particular session. So my first question to you, Shivansh, is how are you feeling after getting recommended and also being the AIR-1 holder in SSC Tech 59 entry?
Well, being AIR-1 holder is not like such a big deal here because multiple other branches also have gotten their highest ranks. But at the same time, being recommended and being at least at the top of my own merit list, on branch merit list, it feels like great. I think this is everything I would have ever wished for.
Great. So आप बोल रहे हो कि AIR-1 इतना बड़ा deal नहीं है, but actually it is because I think many of us already know that in SSB specifically for direct entries is lots of competition. So उनमें से you are getting AIR-1. So I think it's still a big deal. I think it's your humility that's talking. So my next question is, when you told this great news to your parents and to your friends, that means on the result day itself, when they came to know about your success, उन्होंने कैसा react किया?
रिकमेंडेशन के बाद पहले तो मैं खुद ही शॉक में था थोड़ा सा. उसके बाद आई गॉट अ चांस टू कॉल माय मदर एंड obvious response, my mom was in tears the moment she heard that I got recommended. And actually the last time I got recommended, I also got recommended in NDA, but I was not able to clear it because I was medically declared unfit. तो उस समय पे I played a prank on my mother. I was like on the last day I told my mother कि मम्मी 100 लोग आए थे और सबको निकाल दिया, 7-8 लोग सेलेक्ट किए हैं, सबको बाहर लगा दिया. तो एंड में मेरी मम्मी बोलती है कि ठीक है, एक काम कर, तो एक काम कर, घर ही आ जा, ज्यादा घूमना फिरना मत वहां पे, सीधा घर आ जा. देन आई टोल्ड माय मॉम के नहीं मम्मी मेरे को भी ले लिया. तो आई लाइक गेव हर अ सरप्राइज. So it has been 5 or 6 years since that attempt, and this is the next recommendation, and I was waiting for it for a very long time. And the moment I called my mom, I thought that I'm going to make her some kind of a prank. दोबारा से बोलूंगा, but I could not do anything. I just called her, and the moment I heard her voice ना, तो गला भर गया मेरा. तभी तो आपस में सारे दोस्त वगैरह थे उधर, तो I was trying to stop myself from crying ना. तो तभी मैं बस इतना बोल पाया कि मम्मी मैं सेलेक्ट हो गया. And then she was in tears, and yeah, that was the most beautiful thing I would have heard from my mother's side, and she was very happy for me. My friends got to know थोड़ा समय बाद में, क्योंकि हमें phones वगैरह allowed नहीं थे उस समय वहाँ पे. But yeah, all the friends of mine were very happy about they have seen me struggle over this. They've seen me preparing for this over the past couple of years, and they were very happy about me getting selected. Okay, I would like to share something here. Before my final conference, I was very confident that I did really well in the whole SSB. I mean, there were some ups and downs, but it went swimmingly well. And my own introspection about my SSB that went through was I enjoyed a lot. So I was very confident at that point of time. After coming out of the conference hall, I was also again very confident that आज तो मेरे को घर भगा रहा है. I'm out, completely out. Confidence नहीं टूटा बीच में एक बार में. I was very confident. So because in my interview, what the deputy president did was he asked me a couple of questions, and वही basic questions about how was your experience and this and that. And then he says के ऐसे time देख के ना, how long is it going to take you अभी घर जाने में? So I was like, okay, this is the end. Then he asked a couple of more questions that how many attempts do you have left? I said, sir, this many attempts. So then he said, okay, next time अच्छे से prepare करके आना. I was like, ठीक है, अभी तो बाहर हूँगा. And yeah, then we went to the seats, and I was sitting in the very front row. Achha, this is something common, both in the ND entry also and this entry also. I was sitting in the very front row when my name got called out, and both the times I was not attentive when my name was getting called out. So right before me, it was test number 14, the notorious kid I told you about. He got his name called out, and he stood up and went. And all the students there, all the 33 of us, were in complete shock that test number 14 got recommended, because his group basically knew that he performed really well, and but we did not. We knew him from the शैतानिया जो शाम को आगे करता था, ऐसे रूम पे आगे मस्ती करता रहता था इधर उधर. So it was a great shock. उसके बाद my chest number got called out, and yeah, I was not attentive. मैं अलग ही खोया हुआ था उस टाइम पे ना, बात कर रहा था कि मैंने यार ये उसका 14 का हो गया है. And then suddenly my chest number got called out, so I stood up and I was kind of suspicious कि मेरा ही है ना, पक्का मेरा ही है ना. मैं खुद से बोला, मैंने कहा शिवांश. कह रहे यस शिवांश. मैंने कहा शिवांश. कह रहे कॉल आउट योर बर्थ डेट. तो मैं बर्थ डेट बोला अपनी, तो he was like हाँ ठीक है जी go. That was very surprising moment, and even after getting recommended, the deputy president came to congratulate us, and तभी उन्होंने बोला मुझको ना कि how are you, ऐसे ना, मतलब he stood in front of us all the kids, and then he said कि how are you feeling, this and that, सबके वही answer, sir we are feeling amazing and everything. Then he came to me and said कि how are you feeling, ऐसे करके ना, how are you feeling. मैंने कहा sir I'm feeling amazing, it's like being on the seventh cloud. So then he says कि and how are you feeling when I was talking to you inside in conference. मैंने कहा सर मैं तो पक्का था आप मेरे को घर भेजने वाले हो भी ना. Then he said कि नहीं you were just kidding मेरी यार था ना. तो वहाँ पे अलग मजाक हो गया मेरे साथ.
Really nice to hear this. Okay, so how did you get motivated for joining defense or the armed forces? वो motivation आपको कहाँ से मिला?
I think it dates back to a long time ago when I, as a kid, I used to be very fat. And so around my class 11th or 12th, I started running as a subah ko na yahan pe. I live in Roorkee, so here's the Ganga Canal. And another thing is that here is also the center for Bengal sappers. So when I went for running in the morning, I saw these young chaps, jawans jo ki running karte rehte the river ki charo taraf, canal ki charo taraf. And that was something that I encountered every single day. So me and a friend of mine who went for running, we tried to catch up to those people. उनके पेस में मैच करने की कोशिश करते थे खुद से. But obviously that was very difficult for us, considering कि मैं पहले भी एकदम गुब्बारे जैसा मोटा था, और उसके अलावा भी I was physically very unfit. So still that, I think that was my first exposure to the lifestyle of military. And उसके बाद तो after completing my 12th class, I was certain that I want to join the forces as an officer.
Okay, so you got recommended in SSB 2 times, I guess.
Yes.
So this time, how did you prepare for the SSB, and how you prepared for being the AIR-1, the best?
Well, the motive was just to clear the SSB and get into the forces. AIR-1 का कभी ऐसा कुछ plan नहीं था मेरा कि भाई मेरे को top rank मारनी है. वो by chance हो गया. Even I don't know कैसे हो गया. By chance the result came and I found myself on the top of the merit list. And that too, I'm again telling you, it is branch-wise particular AIR-1. So I don't think that's a big deal. Many students are there who have got AIR-1. And what I did for my preparation was I did the same kind of preparation that everyone does, was focusing on my physicals and focusing at the same time on my, sharpening my general abilities. When I started my preparation last year, I was going through a really rough patch of my life. So I had to start the preparation for GATE exam also because my engineering was ending, and for SSB also. And what I realized was you can never expect things to be perfectly lined up in your way to start your preparation. अगर perfect होने का चीजों का wait करते रहोगे तो time उसमें ही खराब हो जाएगा सारा ना. So in order to start something, you do not need to wait. You just have to bring a change in your life. So yeah, that's what I did. But I think thanks to those hardships that I was facing, those difficult times that threw me down to the lowest point in my life, I was able to get up. I was able to fight back, and with the blessing of my parents, my friends, I started preparing for SSB. I started reading newspapers. I started working out again. Then there was this video I saw of an officer who was talking about clearing the SSB and what the student can do in order to prepare for the SSB. And he mentioned a very good point that I still think is a very perfect way to prepare for SSB. That is that if you go out in the world and start traveling, solo travels, you go to places, you meet new people, you experience new things, good or bad, either way. So polishes your OLQs. So I think that is something I did a lot. I traveled a lot in all the possible places. Jahan ja sakta tha, main everywhere I went. And yeah, I think that is some.
So my next question is regarding this OLQ only. How did you prepare? How did you work on your 15 OLQs for SSB? As you said that you were traveling to different places. Can you give us a brief outlook of how you did that? Which place you liked the most and why?
I think talking about those OLQs, these 15 OLQs that the person is judged on in the SSB, I think everyone has them already. Different proportions हो सकता है, लेकिन I think everyone has already got those OLQs. And I'm not sure what the SSB SSS are looking for, but I think they look for a trainability in the person. कि इसके अंदर अगर ये basic OLQs हैं, then maybe we can sharpen them up and make him an officer. So to be honest, I did not prepare anything specially for the OLQs, but I saw this. The name of the officer was Muhammad Ali Shah. He's an actor in the Bollywood now. He used to be an officer in the Indian Armed Forces, and उनके इंटरव्यू में मैंने देखा था कि he was talking about traveling to places in order to encounter your SRTs. ये situations तुमको रास्ते पे मिलेंगी. How you are going to deal with those particular situations, good or bad, both ways. So that is something that you get an experience from, and when you're writing your psych test, or when you're performing in your SSB, कहीं पे भी, so you put yourself in that particular condition, and then तुम उस condition में क्या करते तो उसका reply तुमको लिखना है वहाँ पे, and that is something I believed a lot, and I did at the same time. And yeah, about the places I traveled to a lot of places beach time में, मतलब other than my whenever I got some time off my studies, I traveled to nearby places. यहाँ पे रुड़की के आसपास हरिद्वार, ऋषिकेश, देहरादून. Then I went to Jaipur also. I went to Delhi. I went to Mumbai. I went to Bangalore recently. So yeah, आवारा पक्का हूँ मैं, मतलब ऐसे से पहले भी और बाद में भी अभी, तो ये चलता रहता है.
So how did you work on your personality? How did you develop your personality? Because we all know that in SSB, personality matters the most.
Yeah. It is in normal terms we can deem the SSB as a personality test only, and I believe personality is all about your conduct of your own self, how you're carrying yourself, how you're speaking, how you're communicating with people, how you're expressing your own beliefs to the person. That is something what SSB is about, and I think being physically, when someone says about personality, so people have a general conception that अच्छा दिखना, यानी कि looking good is a part of personality or something. That is, I think, complete bollocks. A person should be dressed smartly, have a good conduct of their own self. They should know how to communicate in a good way, or whenever given an opportunity, they should know how to speak confidently, have a good, rapport with people, have a good rapport with the people who are around them, their group, or, friends, subordinates, whoever they are. So I think that makes up the personality. And what I did for my personality was I was a bit shy while I was speaking in front of, people. A bit shy, I have thankfully have been given a lot of opportunities for being a leader in my college also. So I was still a bit shy when I was given a topic on the spot and asked to speak on it. Just a lecture it में होता है. So what I did was here in my room only I have a mirror जो मैंने लगाया था यहाँ पे, and every morning I used to wake up. I used to wear a shirt ठीक से. This is something I did with very complete sincerity. एक shirt पहन के ऊपर I used to stand in front of the mirror and I used to look up to anything, कुछ भी topic, anything that I saw in a newspaper के ऊपर कोई word पढ़ लिया, इधर उधर कुछ देख लिया, and I tried to make out in my mind 5-6 points के इसके ऊपर मैं 5-3 मिनट तक बोल के देखता हूँ if I'm able to speak it, and I mark myself over these insecurities of myself कि ये चीज ठीक करनी है, ये चीज कैसे करनी है, वो सब. That's, I think, yeah, that's all I do.
That's a very good self-introspection, I would say. And I hope that the viewers who's watching this will also inculcate the same practice. It's actually very good practice. So Shivansh, my next question is, how was your screening? Okay, so as you know that people face a lot of fear when they're going for specifically PPTT more than OIR. So how did you practice or work on OIR and PPTT for your screening?
स्क्रीनिंग के अंदर प्रॉब्लमेटिक पार्ट ना सबको जो लगता है वो ग्रुप डिस्कशन लगता है. आई थिंक ग्रुप डिस्कशन बिकॉज इट्स नॉट इन योर ओन कंट्रोल. सो व्हाट कंसेप्शन आई हैड बिफोर गोइंग टू द स्क्रीनिंग वाज कि जो चीज कंट्रोल में नहीं है उसका तो कुछ खास कर नहीं सकते, बट व्हाटएवर आई हैव इन माय कंट्रोल आई कैन चेंज दैट. सो OIR की मैंने बहुत प्रैक्टिस की. आई बॉट अ बुक फॉर OIR एंड आई एवरी सिंगल डे आई एटलीस्ट प्रैक्टिस फॉर 1 hour. कम से कम 1 घंटा में OIR की प्रैक्टिस करता था. दैट वाज अलोंग विद माय प्रिपरेशन फॉर माय GATE examination and all that. SSB वगैरह. तो OIR 1 घंटा रोज लगा रहा था मैं. And it was very helpful in my screening process because वहाँ पर कपूरथला में मेरा SSB जब था on the very first day, I don't think there was a single OIR का question जो मैंने छोड़ा हो, and there was no guessing game in that. It was fairly easy, and I was able to complete it in a good amount of time. I was even able to go through one of the tests एक बार और. So that helped me a lot, I think. उसके बाद PPDT के अंदर तो थोड़ा बहुत making the same story using those good adjectives and everything to define the work done by your character. That's all everyone does. And उसके बाद GD के अंदर I think what helped me out a lot was being loud and crisp. I was able to make an impact on the group, and I think that is why I got screened in.
Okay, so my next question is, how many questions did you attempt in OIR? As you said, all. Okay, so my next question will be, what picture you got in PPDT, what kind of story you wrote, and how you performed in the PPDT group discussion?
The picture I got in my PPDT was there was a guy standing. I mean, the picture is very hazy. It's very hard to determine what is happening. But what was clear was there was a guy standing, and he was holding on to something. At the same time, there was a kacha house kind of a thing behind him, and either there was smoke or there was a cloud, something behind the house. That was very clear. So I made a story that that this person was passing through somewhere. My hero was passing through somewhere, and he spotted smoke coming out. So he rushed to the place, and on the way called an ambulance, and along with that, a fire brigade also. Then he noticed that the fire is taking वहाँ पे आग लगी हुई है, तो he sprung into action and made a group and this and that. वो सब किया मैं. But I think what I did different was spotting out a minor element of the story could be a game changer for you. When the picture is displayed to you, everyone is going to spot out the obvious things. कि भाई वो लड़का है, पीछे घर है, पीछे धुआं है. What I was able to spot out, and many other would definitely have been spotting out this, was there was a pile of, I would say, inflammable wood lying there. That my perception was that it was inflammable wood. So what I made a main point of my story was that along with helping the people, get away from the fire and keeping a safe zone around the fire, what the boy did was he started removing the inflammable items from between the fire and the place to which the fire could spread. And I think that helped me in my story also, because I noticed something that was not very obvious. And in my group discussion also, I had a point to speak. Whenever someone else was, trying to say कि भाई देख मेरी story ये है और मैंने ये लिखा है, तो I would say कि यार तूने वो चीज spot करनी शायद miss कर दी. तो I think वो चीज spot करके मैंने ये लिखा है, तो I think this is a better explanation of the picture.
So your observation skills came very handy, right, in PPDT?
I think if you're observing those small elements of the PPDT picture, that is going to help you a lot, both in your story writing and along with that in your GD also. You'll get good points in GD.
That was really, really great. Okay, so my next question is, which task you think that you have performed best in your SSB, in your recent SSB, and which task you thought that you could have given your best, but you were not able to?
I think the task I enjoy the most is always command task. It is a blast for me. I mean, all the GTO tasks, ground tasks, जितनी भी होते हैं सब में बड़ा मजा आता है. लेकिन command task is something I have had a blast in the past also. This is my third attempt for my SSB, and तीनों attempt में मुझको अच्छे से याद है मेरा command task क्या था और कितना बढ़िया गया था. मतलब I had a lot of fun.
Please enlighten us. What command tasks you got in all the 3 SSBs?
Okay, all the 3 SSB I had the same command task of defusing a bomb that was between an island, and in Allahabad, that was my first SSB. I gave around 5 solutions from 3 different structures. Every time I gave a solution, the assessor asked me, okay, this is broken, this is blue. And exactly same thing happened in all the 3 SSBs. But इससे पहले वाले में, SSC Tech 58 में, the assessor did not ask me for many different solutions. So I thought that I've not performed very well in my previous task. That is why the assessor is not asking me for any changes in the structure. This time also, the assessor asked me for a lot of different solutions. He was pressurizing me. At the same time, he was 15 minutes. He gave me hardly 5 minutes, and I even broke a structure. I stood on the structure and it came out of the ground. So yeah, I think command tasks are the best one. Other than that, The worst one I found is site test. It's very difficult for me to sit down at a place and write for 2 continuous hours. And I think that was I won't say it was the worst performing one, but I do not like site tests even a little bit. I'm completely fine with the interview. Completely fine with the GTO, everything. But yeah, this is something I cannot take.
So my next question was about the psych test only. So I was therefore smiling that how can I ask you that question? Okay, but still, how many questions you attempted in TAT, VAT, SRT, and what were the challenges you really faced while taking the psych test, other than sitting for 2 hours continuously?
Uh, I think I did somewhere around 45 words in 40 to 50 words, 45 to 50 words in WAT. TAT, obviously, I did it all because TAT makes time is there in plenty. And in SRT, I was able to do around 40 sentences. The biggest problem I was facing was getting bored of the test only. I don't think there was any other problem because we were sitting in a very fine hall, AC वैसी चल रहा था, we were enjoying, मतलब. And yes, another thing was that we had to sit there for 2 long hours, and this was the first thing in the morning, and that too after getting a very sticky, sweaty sleep of hardly 2-3 hours because after screening we got our results very late that day, and due to some technical issue, हमारे results आने में late हो गया, and we were allowed to go to our bunkers, our beds at around 11 in the night, and it was very humid in Kapurthala at that time. So we got hardly a sleep of everyone, not just me, all the people there. They hardly got a sleep of 2-3 hours, and that was also a very sweaty sleep. So that was a huge challenge for everyone there, I think.
Okay, so did that affect your test anywhere in SSB, that climate or the humidity?
Yeah, definitely that had an effect on, especially the ground task. It had a really big effect on. But the officer, the officer who was there, our GTO, he was like a very nice person. Like, he was a very dashing personality. Like them. So he was again and again making fun of these things. Like, look at you all sweating like you're taking a bath or something. Etc. Yeah, it was a little difficult. Even for us, it was not that difficult. For the next batch that came to us, उनके लिए तो बारिश हो गई थी वहां पे बहुत ज्यादा, इतनी बारिश कि वहां पे थोड़ा सा पानी भरने लग गया था, तो they were doing their command task and everything in like water puddles.
Oh my God, that is quite challenging, right?
Yeah, comparatively easy for us. We were just sweating ना, वहां तो बारिश चल रही थी पूरी.
Okay, nice. Okay, so my next question is, which topics were asked to you in lecturate and in your current affairs GD, which is in the GTO, and how was your performance in the overall group, group task, including lecturate and the group discussion?
I cannot recall all the topics that were asked. जो lecturate में मैं बोला था, that one I can recall.
Yes, please.
That is digital money. It was about digital money, and I spoke on that for around till the bell rang. For 3 minutes I spoke on that, and I was fairly okay. मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि मैंने बहुत ही कमाल कर दिया lecturate के अंदर. But हाँ, I knew what I was speaking. I had some fairly good points, और I gave my lecturate fair and fine. उसके अलावा GD के अंदर we got 2 different topics, as everyone does. One of them was how Russia is able to sustain the war for such a long period of time, even after all those sanctions and everything. And the other topic was that why the students of India are, leaving the country and going out to study. So on these 2 topics, our discussion ran for some 25 minutes के आसपास दोनों discussions हमारे चले, and it was a fairly good discussion. I had a very, very good group. I mean, all the people were very well educated, एकदम बढ़िया, सब अच्छे से बोलने वाले. I was getting complex from 3-4 लोगों से था ना, ऐसा होता है यार कितना सही बोल रहे हैं, मेरे को बोलने नहीं देगा शायद. But yeah, the group dynamics we had were very good. All the people were very amazing, and yeah, this was, I think, the.
So my next question will be regarding the group bonding that you were saying. कि आपको क्या लगता है कि recommendation में group bonding कितना important role play करता है?
I cannot tell about कि recommendation में कितना important role play करता है, but I can talk about my own group. मेरा खुद का group बड़ा मस्त था एकदम. Everyone was very chill about this. SSB 1-2 को छोड़ के कुछ लोग वहाँ पे strategizing कर रहे थे कि मैं तेरे को बुलाऊंगा, तू मेरे को बुलाना, और मैं तेरे को nudge कर दूंगा जब भी GD में बोलना होगा. But I had this very amazing group of Baki. Other than that, on the very first day of screening, I met this very cool friend. I made a friend with there, Tapish, and he's an amazing person, and we really hit it off. और हम last day तक enjoy करते रहे वहाँ पे. We were not strategizing. We were not having plans के अगले दिन क्या करना. We were just doing what we were supposed to do. Other than that, there was this other guy who was a complete, notorious mess. He was not in our group. He was in the other group, but he came to our group to, chill out रात में. And उसके साथ भी बहुत मजे किए. Completely notorious guy. No one could have expected that he got recommended because he was doing so well in his tasks. शाम को वो कुछ भी करे अपने साथ मस्ती करे, लेकिन he was doing so well in his task that right before my name, his name came, and I was shocked कि how did he get recommended? तो मेरे को दो डबल शॉक लग रहे थे उस टाइम पे कि एक वो रिकमेंड हो गया और एक मैं रिकमेंड हो गया.
Okay, that was really fun. I could really, imagine the fun, the level of fun that you guys really had. So my next question is about what kind of questions you got in your personal interview as well as in your conference. As I could understand that you were a repeater, right? You got the conference, the medical out in the first SSB, second SSB got screened out, and
no,
third
not screened out, conference out in the second.
Conference out. I'm so sorry, conference out. So in these ways you were a repeater. So what kind of questions you got in your personal interview as a repeater as well as in conference?
As a repeater, I don't think there was, as a repeater for particular, मेरे पास questions आए वो कि how was your previous attempts and why did you not get through the last attempt? What were the mistakes you made and how did you introspect them? How did you work on those mistakes? And I was fairly, knowledgeable about the fact कि मैंने last time गलत क्या किया था. And I made some changes in my preparation. Last time मेरे को service knowledge में थोड़ी सी lack कर रहा था मैं, and my general knowledge was very, very bad last time when I went because I was completely into the grade preparation. मैं ज़्यादा GK वगैरह पढ़ नहीं पा रहा था. So I had a good idea of what I was lacking in. So that is something I told to the assessors that I have prepared this and that. उसके अलावा in my conference they asked those basic questions के कौन सा SSB ज़्यादा अच्छा लगा कपूरथला के इलाहाबाद, which one did you enjoy most, and do you have the friends you made in Allahabad, do you still are you still in touch with them? तो वो सब questions पूछे basically. उसके अलावा तो as a repeater they did not ask me something like जिसका मैं आंसर मतलब ना दे पाया. They were very basic questions.
Okay, so you were going for the technical entry. You went for the technical SSC Tech 59 entry. So what kind of technical questions were asked to you related to your branch, and what will be your suggestion to those going for the technical entries? Okay,
first talking about my own questions. So I was asked very basic questions starting about my branch, that is Industrial and Production Engineering. And this branch is very similar to mechanical branch. It's a specialization of mechanical only. तो सब कुछ सेम ही रहता है ऑलमोस्ट. एक दो सब्जेक्ट को छोड़ के हमारे पास कुछ मैनेजमेंट के सब्जेक्ट्स थोड़े से ज्यादा होते हैं. अदर देन दैट इट्स कंप्लीटली मैकेनिकल. सो बहुत बेसिक क्वेश्चंस पूछने के बाद द असेसर केम टू आस्क मी कि इंजीनियरिंग के बेस पे एग्जाम कौन सा दिए तुमने. सो आई टोल्ड हिम कि सर मैंने गेट का एग्जाम दिया है, एंड ही आस्क्ड माय रैंक एंड माय स्कोर ऑफ गेट, एंड उसके बाद उन्होंने एक भी क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछा टेक्निकल का मुझसे. I think that was the point of time. Maybe the interviewing officers try to make you push you to a point जहाँ पे तुम आंसर ना दे पाओ शायद, so that they can test your abilities and when you're in pressure. So उसके बाद उन्होंने कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछा टेक्निकल का मुझसे. And I would suggest the people who are appearing for SSC Tech entry के whichever stream you're doing your engineering in, you have spent 4 years there studying those particular subjects, and trust me, very basics of your subjects are going to be asked. So prepare those first. I mean, you should be aware. अगर SSR को पता लगेगा कि जो इसने 4 साल तक पढ़ा है वो इसको नहीं आता, तो हाउ कैन ही एक्सपेक्ट कि इसने पिछले 3-4 महीने में जो SSB की तैयारी करी होगी वो ठीक से करी होगी. सो आई थिंक इट इज द प्राइम थिंग दैट यू शुड डू. स्टार्टिंग में अपने सब्जेक्ट नॉलेज को एकदम अच्छे से ठीक ठाक पॉलिश करके जाना, कि अगर वहां पे तुमसे कोई बेसिक लेवल का क्वेश्चन पूछा जाए तो उसमें तुम फंबल ना करो. यू आर स्टडीइंग समथिंग फॉर 4 years, you should be very confident in it. तुमको एसएसआर को सिखा देना चाहिए बेसिकली, बिकॉज़ एसएसआर इज नॉट इन टच विद ऑल दीस थिंग्स. Maybe आई एम नॉट वेरी श्योर, बट you should be very confident about something you have been studying for the past 4 years.
Okay, so my next question is very generic. It is like, as we have understood by now that you have a very good way of speaking. You have a good speaking skills, communication skills, as well as you have a very magnetic voice. So do you think that you received any kind of attention or advantage because of your voice or your skills in SSB?
Yeah, definitely. I would have loved to, impress an officer to get through the SSB with my voice. But yeah, to be honest, I think I did get an advantage of being loud and crisp in every stage that I had to verbally communicate in. And not just the lecturate or GD, I mean, also in command tasks when I had to communicate to my subordinates. So I mean, there's nothing that I did in order to, make my voice like this, but I think what someone can do is having a loud and crisp voice in every stage of SSB would be very helpful, as it makes you sound more confident in, that sturdy sound karta hai ki haan theek hai, whatever he's saying, he knows what he's talking about. So I think that is something that I got an advantage of. I would say I got an advantage for it.
Okay, so as a repeater, you said that you analyzed yourself, you knew what mistakes you committed, और आपने उस पे work भी किया है. तो आपको क्या लगता है कि self introspection कितना advantageous होते हैं अगर कोई aspirant repeater है या फिर उनको बिल्कुल भी नहीं मिल रहा है SSB में and he is or she is trying so hard. So how would you recommend self introspection and how to do that?
सेल्फ इंट्रोस्पेक्शन, आप द डे यू कम आउट ऑफ द एसएसबी तुमको पता होता है कि तुमने गलत क्या किया वहां पे, व्हाट इज द पर्टिकुलर टास्क जिसके अंदर तुमने थोड़ा मेसअप कर दिया. सो इफ यू आर टेकिंग स्टेप्स टू काउंटर दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग दैट यू डिड रॉन्ग, so you will have something to speak in front of the interviewing officer the next time when he's going to ask this. Definitely he's going to ask this, that what changes did you make this time. So what you can do is choose those particular points that you lacked in. Abhi what happened in my last SSB was the officer asked me ke in your city Bengal sappers hai aur Bengal sappers ke andar ka kuch पूछ लिया मुझसे. He asked me a couple of questions about my own city, and unfortunately I was not able to answer 3-4 of them. So after my SSB I really started researching my own city pehle, and this time also there was this round in which the officer after rapid fire round uske andar questions पूछते रहते हैं officer एक के बाद एक. So it started from my own city and went across the whole globe. So I had some things he asked me about. He started with the question that tell me 5 interesting facts about your city, the place where you're coming from, and I knew like 15 facts. मैं बोलना शुरू किया, मैंने कहा ठीक है ये है वो है, IIT है, Bengal sappers है, गंगा कैनाल है. Then he jumped to the next question. So I think self introspection is going to play a very important role when you are reappearing for this SSB, because जो पहले की कमियां हैं आपने उनको फुलफिल कर दिया, और जो अभी आप जाके ऑफिसर को बोलोगे तो ही इज डेफिनेटली गोइंग टू आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन कि आपने जो पहले कमियां की थी वो क्या थी और उनको आपने फुलफिल कैसे किया.
Okay, that's really nice. So my next question is that I think this is your 3rd attempt that you got recommended, and you're also medical you're in the merit. Now you're going to join the academy. So before that you faced failures. Okay, I would say failures because you didn't get it. And then you must have faced some kind of motivation, right? So if yes, then what were those demotivations and how you overcame them?
Yeah, obviously, like many times throughout the journey of preparing for SSB, and even while I was in college, tabhi bhi I faced a lot of failures. I cannot even count kitna baar aisa hua hai ki I have reached almost to the final level and wahan pe jaake main I've lost. So most of the time it was due to internal burnouts when I was preparing for SSB. Tabhi it was due to internal burnouts that I was studying for long hours because I had my gate examination also to attend, and other than that I was also preparing for another some job work exam के कहीं job लग जाए मेरी, और उसके अलावा SSB का preparation भी साथ करना. तो internal burnouts रास्ते में बहुत आते हैं, but I think you always have this. I think motivation does not work in these cases. Motivation आपकी काम करेगी starting का 1-2 दिन. If you bring that into your habit, so आपका एक discipline बन जाएगा. Doesn't matter if you like the job you're liking the job कि मुझे पढ़ना है आज 3 घंटे 4 घंटे 5 घंटे जितना भी पढ़ना है मुझे SSB के लिए, तो आज मुझे पढ़ना है. Doesn't matter if I'm liking it or not, I'm going to study those 4-5 hours because I have set it into my discipline. Motivation होगा तो वो 2-3 घंटे में धुल जाएगा. I think discipline lasts. Other than that, ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ कि because of external factors, people saying things to me or my parents about कि भाई जॉब नहीं कर रहा है लड़का ये वो, because I was sitting around 5-6 महीने खाली बैठा था मैं अपने इंजीनियरिंग करने के बाद. गेट के एग्जाम तक तो मैं खाली था, तो तभी एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स बहुत थे कि people were saying कि जॉब नहीं कर रहा है, इंजीनियरिंग करी है, ये कर रहा है वो कर रहा है, बेरोजगार इंजीनियर. इट्स अ वेरी स्पेसिफिक टैग दैट एवरीवन गेट्स आजकल ना. So I had a very strong support system in my family, with my mother being at the center of it. So yeah, I was never even bothered about what anyone else was saying. and I think thanks to my mother that ऐसा कुछ मेरे सामने आया भी नहीं कभी. And I think this whole success is अपनी mother को dedicate करूँगा मैं. She's the only reason why I'm sitting here right now giving this interview to you.
Wow, that's really nice and really touching. And so my next question, Shivansh, is about, you said that you were able to manage in a disciplined life, in a disciplined way, your competitive exams that you were taking as well as your SSB preparation. So did you follow any daily routine? If so, then what was it?
So yes, I tried to inculcate a daily routine, and it was very difficult in the starting stages because मैं कोई daily routine follow नहीं कर रहा था. College से बाहर आया हुआ था. I was just doing whatever I could. और कॉलेज के अंदर भी उस टाइम कोविड की वजह से हमारा कॉलेज बीच में ही एंड हो गया था, तो देयर वाज नो स्पेसिफिक डेली रूटीन दैट आई एम सपोज्ड टू get up at this time and do this and that. But then I started following a very strict daily routine, and what I found was I failed every time I made a very strict daily routine. So what I did was I started with very basic things कि ठीक है, the first thing I'm going to do is wake up at 7 in the morning. ठीक है, बाकी कुछ प्लान नहीं है अगले दिन का. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up at 7 in the morning. That's it. Then 3-4 दिन बाद I made it कि ठीक है, I'm going to wake up at 6 and at 7 I'm going to read a newspaper. तो 2 टास्क दे दिए मैंने, बाकी पूरा दिन फ्री. फिर नेक्स्ट डे I made it कि ठीक है 7 बजे मैं पेपर पढ़ूंगा, दोपहर को 2 बजे मैं एक बार किताबें लेके अपने पढ़ना बैठ जाऊंगा, and that is some time I'm going to give to studies. बाकी कोई काम नहीं. So I think what I realized with this is it could be something that is just with me or with anyone in the world कि भाई अगर बहुत ही strict schedule बना के start करते हैं ना, तो it's very difficult to follow it on the very first day. So what you should do is you should make a schedule के धीरे धीरे वो थोड़ा place के अंदर आए, and it starts building up your whole complete timetable for the day. So that is something I did, and it took me more than a month to get into the pace of studying both for my exams and both for this SSB also. So it took over a month, but at that time it was like when it came in action, I was very disciplined about it. I was able to follow it to the very last second. Second तो नहीं, ठीक है, ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. I was able to follow it to the very last minutes, I would say.
Okay, so in either ways you followed this daily routine, but you took it in a different way altogether. So I think that differs from person to person. So Shivansh, my next question is, as usual, as you have got the same question, I'm going to repeat here. That is, you have gone to SSB Allahabad and SSB Kapurthala. So which SSB you like the best and why?
I think I like both of them because दोनों ने recommend किया मेरे को एक बारी. Kapurthala is a relatively new SSB, and the only problem I faced there was not because of SSB but because of the climate. और तभी बहुत humid हो रखा था, and it bothered me a little. मतलब अभी लेकिन ठीक है, completely fine, कोई दिक्कत नहीं होती वहाँ पे भी. It's very comfy place to be, both SSB Allahabad and SSB Kapurthala, and I enjoyed a lot at both the places. I made great friends दोनों जगह पे, and I'm still in contact with almost all of them. Groups बना रखे हैं हमने, बात होती है phone पे. All of them are really good people, and that is something whenever I think about my SSB, I think about those people I met there. So what I take from that is both SSBs are very fine places to be.
Okay, so now my next question is, tell us something about your sports or hobbies and extracurricular activities, and if you think that if they really helped you in you getting recommended in SSB, so then how?
Yeah, as for sports, I am a national level taekwondo player. I am a black belt in taekwondo. उसके अलावा I also play discus throw. I'm an athlete. Discus throw खेलता हूँ as a complete sportsman. I've been state level gold medalist रह चुका हूँ मैं discus throw में. And yeah, that is something that I flashed a little in my own SSB के हाँ ठीक है मैंने ये किया, तो this is something I was able to tell the interviewing officer, in order to impress him कि ठीक है कुछ तो आता है इसको, पढ़ाई लिखाई तो इतना मतलब उसके अलावा भी कुछ और किया है इसने. So other than that, I think I try my hand in every possible thing I like. I like music, so I tried my hand like to sing or like to play guitar वगैरह. That is something I enjoy a lot. And I travel a lot. That is something you asked for my hobby. So yeah, my hobby is traveling. I go to a lot of places, meet new people, and experience new things. Adventure sports. I like adventure sports a lot. Other than that, my college, I was a part of the robotics club of Pantnagar, and yeah, that also I enjoyed a lot. That's right.
So you're into many things. So tell me, Shivansh, has this you were a taekwondo player, you said, as well as a discus in those sports as well. Any rules or anything in those sports taught you to be the way you projected yourself in SSB, helped you in your SSB? That's what I
I
wanted
would
to
say any kind of training that you're going through, doesn't matter. It has to be for a particular sport only. Any kind of training you're going through, it teaches you to work beyond your failures. That is the only way you're going to grow. Okay, when you have gotten to a point of failure, you even start to work के थोड़ा सा उससे ज़्यादा करेंगे. So next time when you start practicing for it, तो वो time आपको उतना जो distance है आपका, that is going to be a normal distance. So I think the biggest catch from these sports or whatever I was into was that whenever I was preparing for anything or whenever I was performing for anything, I went a little step ahead of what I can do. I pushed myself a little bit, and I think that helped me a lot. Other than that, setting up a discipline for doesn't matter if it is physical workout or if it's study. Setting up a discipline for it, discipline, time, and consistency, that is very important. Agar aapko, let's say you're studying for a single hour in the day, but you have to be consistent about this single hour. It's better to study single hour एक करके 7 दिन में 1 घंटा, as compared to studying 7 hours a single day and not studying for the whole week. So I would say that also teaches you consistency.
Okay, so my next question is about the both written and the direct entries you went for in SSB. You went for NDA entry in SSB, you went for SSC Tech direct entry also in SSB. So did you find any difference between the two entries or any kind of activities, performance? You felt any difference?
As per in the process of SSB, there's nothing different. I mean, the whole process is completely same for both the entries. But what happens is, I think NDA के अंदर या फिर किसी भी written entry के अंदर, the number of students who are going to get recommended is a little higher as compared to any non-written entry. जैसे SSC Tech या फिर TGC वगैरह हो गया, उससे comparison में number of recommendations is going to be higher as compared to those. Because I think the reason behind this is that the assessors sitting there already know that the student is giving a UPSC level exam in order to come to the SSB, and so जो candidates वहाँ पे SSB के लिए appear कर रहे हैं, वो already थोड़े filtered candidates हैं. So more, it's very obvious. I mean, you see the number of candidates getting recommended for NDA or CDS as compared to the candidates who are getting recommended for TGC or SSC Tech. It's a ज़मीन आसमान का फर्क है. So it's very obvious कि हाँ difference तो है, लेकिन difference SSB के process के अंदर कुछ नहीं है. I think the process is fairly same.
Okay, so the number of candidates getting screened in or something.
Another thing I would say is different in NDA and graduate entries is that NDA के अंदर the process seems a little more lenient. You're just a kid at that time, 16 to 19 years old. So even the assessors are maybe a little bit lenient on you. But when you go after graduation, so what they try to, they push you a little further. They put you into more pressure उस time पे, and they expect more from you because you're already college pass कर रखा है आपने, तो graduate entry से आप लोग आ रहे हैं, तो they expect a little more from you as compared to the NDA entry. So that is the only difference I would say SSB or NDA or इसमें होता है.
Okay, so the next question is for us, that is SSBCrack exams. Any suggestions for SSBCrack exams team and how we helped you in your preparation? How you would recommend us to those who are also preparing for defense exams or for SSB?
So as of now, I think my interaction with SSBCrack has been watching the interviews of the people who have been recommended previously. And yeah, that is something I would say they're doing great. जिनका already experience है जिन लोगों को, उनका SSB का interview बाकी सबके साथ share करना is going to be very helpful has been very helpful to me also, and is going to be very helpful to the people who are going to apply for the SSB as an aspirant. Other than that, what I used to enjoy was Instagram के page पे आपकी memes वगैरह, and I love those memes, and yeah, that is all. I don't have any suggestion in particular. You're doing a great job at it.
Thanks a lot. So my next question is any suggestions for the upcoming aspirants who is going to appear for the SSB? Any tips that you want to give them?
SSB के लिए I would say कि prepare the basic things that you're told about. आपको books वगैरह कहीं भी मिल जाएंगे SSB की preparation के लिए. And the procedure, most of the candidates are already, especially the repeaters, उनको तो already पता ही है कि कैसे होगा. The freshers also, they can get to know about the procedure एक बार पहले से by reading a book or something, or by watching an interview or the whole process, everything is on YouTube. Yeah, सब कुछ मिल जाएगा process के बारे में. What you have to do is you have to prepare your own self instead of focusing on what is going to be the outcome of your SSB conference के बाद क्या सुनने को मिलेगा. उससे ज़्यादा you should concentrate on the effort that you are putting into those on those particular preparation days. So you should very well be aware of whatever you are going to say there. You should very well be aware of your own conduct, and you should very well be aware of how you're going to perform there. So उसके लिए अपना physically अपने आप को fit रखना, अपने आप को mentally active रखना, और generally aware रहना about all the things that are happening around you, listening to news, reading newspapers, studying about your own subjects. All of that you have to do, and that is something everyone knows already. So nothing new, but you should be very presentable when you are going and doing all these things. क्योंकि पहले हम preparation करते हैं तो वो that is completely different. वहाँ पे जाके pressure के अंदर आके जब perform करना होता है तो वो सारा गायब हो जाता है. So you should have a good idea of what you're going to say. You should be well prepared of this.
Okay, and my last question is, what are your plans before you join the academy?
अभी तो same plans. अभी I'm traveling places. I've got some more days before I go to the academy.
So which place are you looking forward to travel?
I'm going to go to Pithoragarh, I think. Not very sure, but शायद Pithoragarh. Then after that, I'm going to Shimla. पक्का नहीं. Might go, might not go. I'm going to meet my friends, long-time friends जिनसे बहुत समय से मिला नहीं हूँ मैं because of my preparation and everything. So उनसे मिलूँगा जाके, and spend some time with my family also. Yeah, because उसके बाद 6 महीने बाद शायद आ पाऊंगा मैं घर तो. That's something.
So it was a nice conversation with you, Shivansh. Thank you for spending such a brilliant time with us. I hope कि हमारे interview भी जितने candidates देख रहे थे या जितने भी viewers देख रहे थे, उनको भी आपके अपने आप से ये जो इतने अच्छे एक्सपीरियंस आपने डिस्क्राइब किया, ये एक्सपीरियंस उनके भी वो मोटिवेशन मिल गया होगा. थैंक यू अगेन वंस मोर. आई वांट टू कंग्रेचुलेट फॉर योर अपकमिंग ब्राइट फ्यूचर. मे यू डॉन द यूनिफॉर्म दैट you have been so much dreaming about for so long. Thank you once again, Shivansh.
Thank you so much, Anuradha. It was great. Thank you.
Jai Hind.